What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Monday, October 30th, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the Lock, Roger Picorni.
Thanks for having me, Greg. This is exciting. What an exciting day. What an exciting way to start the week, Greg. Oh my God. Exciting.
It is exciting, Roger! This is your first time hosting a Games Daily.
Yes.
I forget how this came up in conversation that you would want to do this one day.
Yeah, it was because Mike walked out. He knew this. Him and I, when we were best friends back in the day.
Yeah,
and we were driving, and now it's over. Now we hate each other. We were driving every day and be like, man, one day I want to be doing a Games Daily. Just once in my life. And then, of course, he immediately, as soon as he's doing Games Daily with you, he walks over to me, looks at me, and he's just like, you should be doing this. You know what? I might just leave and you just do this. What if I just leave and then you do this?
Yeah.
And then immediately told you. So I think that's how that kind of planted in your brain.
You just got to say something.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like Mike was trying to get out of work. You know?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what that is. I think he was a little tired.
That's very accurate. Yeah, Mike will do anything not to work around here.
Oh, no, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. You know him.
Also, I appreciate you brought up, you guys were best friends when you drove in the same car. Then you got a car.
Yeah, I got the Yar, the S class Yar. You know what I mean? The fastest Yar.
One of my favorite moments in recent Kind of Funny history was when we were over there talking to Cool Greg, and Cool Greg's like, "Yo, I just noticed that every spot is taken in the lot but one. Do I need to get a car just to make sure that I have a parking spot if I ever want it?" And I was like, you know what, Cool Greg, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, or you get a bike, just put it right there. No one's gonna run over a bike.
Yeah, we would.
You think
we wait, a motorbike or a bicycle?
Bicycle.
No, bicycle. We just moved to the side.
No,
put it by the barbecue.
You think someone's getting out of their fucking car moving a bicycle?
Well, I think the first time, and then there'd be a general slack about don't fucking park a bike in the parking lot. You know what I mean?
Because if it wasn't Cool Greg, it would be Kevin moving the bike out.
But
because
true.
It's Cool Greg, Kevin wouldn't be the
Kevin
one. So then
Nick would. Nick would pull up.
Nick would immediately move that fucking bicycle easy. But what if it was like a cool bicycle? You know what I mean? Like a flames on it or something.
Yeah, like a Pee Wee Herman one.
Oh,
remember he was like, I feel like there's more paint on there.
I had a bike do you remember West Coast? No, it was like Orange County Choppers.
Of course.
I used to watch that show a ton with my father, and my first bike was an Orange County Chopper bicycle.
Wow. It
was really fucking cool. It had like fire and like flames on it. It was really cool.
Did you ever think it wasn't cool? Did it ever go around?
Yeah, later on, as soon as I started actually riding it, I was like, oh, this is way too heavy for a first bike, because it was actually probably twice as heavy as like a normal bike. And it's like, oh no, when I'm falling, I'm hurting myself real bad.
That made you tough though.
Yeah,
you know
it did.
I mean?
It made me real tough. And now look at me.
My favorite bike memory of being a kid is that I had some Huffy bike I'd ride to school or whatever, right? And I remember, I'll say I'm in third grade, maybe fourth grade. And there was a kid a year older than us. So you're waiting for school to open. I don't know if you had to ever do this, wait outside or whatever. And so we were waiting at the bike racks, and this kid was talking to my friend group or whatever, and was trying to hack my convo. And he's like, Greg, what's your lock? I'm like, I'm not going to tell you my lock. And he stops and he looks at me. He's like, Greg, I already have one shitty bike. I don't need two. And that is something that has stuck with me my entire life.
Damn, okay, well, here's the code now.
I mean, it's just Huffy Toys R Us off the shelf bike. What does he care about it? Roger, how was your weekend? Because you've had quite the adventure as of late.
Yeah, my we've been doing, of course, as you guys know, an adult league soccer team, and my girlfriend is also on that team, and she broke her ankle. It was an incredible moment, because it was maybe, of course, 2 minutes before the game was about to end, right? We're still trying. We're maybe 0-10, maybe. We're there's no fucking chance, and we're all the way in the other person's goal. We're not gonna get a fucking goal, but she's trying, right? She's pushing and immediately gets the ball, puts her foot on the ball, slips like a banana peel, and just goes whoop, and overextends it, breaks her ankle, clean break. And we had to carry her to the side. We thought it was a really bad sprain, and then the next day we go to the urgent care and we're like, oh, this is a sprain. And then the doctor walks in and immediately goes, yeah, so clearly it's a break. It's like, fuck. Okay, so that was my weekend. But that means I got to play a lot of video games at least, so that was fun. I've been playing Redacted, and then I've been also playing Alan Wake 2. Man,
yeah, you have.
What a fucking game.
What a game. They don't make them like that anymore.
And not spoiling anything, but I got to the part that I think that you were demoing to everyone else.
I'm sure it was. Right?
Dude.
Yeah.
It is, for me, Alan Wake 2 is such a special game, because Remedy in general has never been that studio that has really clicked for me. Every Control was fine. I was like, oh, I had a good time with it. It's a good game. And Alan Wake 1, I played a little bit. I was like, it's good. But for me, Alan Wake 2 was just oh, you guys were cooking like that. This is something where now I need to go back and play Alan Wake 1 and replay Control. I'm definitely that's for sure.
I want to
replay
Control. So
I think that's the move. I think that's the move. But yeah, I'm just so taken by this game.
If you aren't going to play, and no spoilers, don't worry. Nope. If you are going to play Alan Wake 2, no spoilers for you right here. But if you aren't going to play Alan Wake 2, Polygon has put up an article, and the title is Alan Wake 2 has the best 15-minute stretch of a video game in years. Go look at that, and that has, I think, links in it and everything else from what we're talking about. Just like playing this slackjawed of like, what the fuck am I doing? That's the thing where I did it here at the office, didn't upload my save, went home, showed Jen, then on whatever Thursday showed anybody who was in the office who wanted to see that wasn't going to play it, and then it's awesome to see it now filtering out there and doing it.
But Greg, I just want to say one more thing about Alan Wake 2. I'm free because during that section I got hit by a bunch of enemies and I was like, you know what, fuck this. Went to the settings, story mode. I just dropped the fucking thing from normal to story, and I was like, I love this game so much, I don't want to be frustrated. Yeah. And it has been a freeing experience of just being like, okay, cool, bang, bang, bang. Okay, now we're on to the next thing.
But has you tried what we talked about in the review, which is just spamming dodge?
Yes, I spam dodge a lot. I'm still like, I don't know. I'm just not good at it. Maybe I'm not good at it.
For me, it's more that thing of just like, I don't want to waste my ammo on these guys. And they're like, like, there's like a moment at the very end, or maybe building up to the very end. I did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Awesome, 5 out of 5. Where it's like an army of guys, and I'm just like, Is
the saga part, or is it?
No, it was an Alan part. It was an Alan part at the very end there, or whatever. Yeah. But I digress. You, of course, can read our Alan Wake review as a video or a podcast on the Gamescast. No, that's not even right. P.S. I love you, right? Because of everything that happened, because the spoiler cast with Brian. Well, how much the content? The content.
We got so much content.
But today, let's talk about our Avatar video game preview, a new Nintendo patent, and more, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show for free by writing into kindafunny.com/KFGD with your questions, comments, concerns, everything under the daily video game sun. And I want to hear your squad up requests so we can get you playing video games with the Kinda Funny best friends. However, if you really want to do some cool stuff, watch us record the show live, twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, youtube.com/kindafunnygames. If you're watching live, you have a special job. Go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. And of course, listening on podcast services around the globe. No matter where you get Kinda Funny content, please like, subscribe, share, leave a review, rate it on Spotify, leave an iTunes review. It helps us find other best friends who maybe would like what we do so much, they go to patreon.com/kindafunny. Over on patreon.com/kindafunny, you can toss us a few bucks to keep the independent dream of 11 folks alive and well as we talk about video games. And of course, the benefit for you would be getting each and every show ad-free. That's right, Kinda Funny Games Daily is posted as a YouTube video and an MP3 over there ad-free. All our other podcasts are as well. And you can even watch us record the other podcasts live as we record them ad-free. Get them a day early too, because we record them the day before they go up. Sometimes there's embargoes. Embargo today.
Yep.
Gamescast happening today.
Yep.
Kat Bailey from IGN coming in because, of course, it's IGN Cross Kinda Funny Week as we build up to our extra live stream on Friday. But that's embargo, so you couldn't do it right there. But you'll still get it ad-free over there. You get 300 plus, almost 400 episodes of exclusive content we've put up since last October. And, of course, you can get cool merch and all sorts of stuff only on patreon.com/kindafunny. If you have no bucks to toss our way, no big deal. Use the Epic Creator Code Kinda Funny when you're checking out of the Epic Game Store, Fortnite, Rocket League, etc. on your PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch. Housekeeping. We're hosting the Silent Hill Ascension live premiere pre-show at 4:30 p.m. Pacific on Halloween. That's tomorrow. We'll talk to the Genvid team behind the interactive streaming series, find out how you'll shape the canon of Silent Hill, and count down the seconds until you can experience the terror tomorrow. I'm very excited about this one. Yeah,
this is going to be a really, really good one. I've been editing some stuff for it, so it's been cool to watch. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, of course. This is the folks at Genvid. This is a sponsor stream we're doing with them, where we're hosting their show or producing their show, and it's building up to Silent Hill Ascension's launch. It is not a game. It is an interactive streaming service or series where you will, of course, watch it, make choices alongside other stuff. You can do little mini games to then get more points. That matters more your choices. It's a whole thing that we'll explain tomorrow alongside them. But I did their Comic-Con panel where I was super excited about it, and here I am ready to do this, super excited about it.
And the biggest thing about this, they got Ascension.com. Couldn't believe it.
They took it away.
That's a huge one.
Jesus was like, you want it? Take it. On top of that, tomorrow we're also keeping it spooky for a sponsor stream with Outlast Trials. The devs are coming down from Quebec to hang out with me and Mike and play some Outlast Trials. Andy,
good fishing in Quebec, I hear.
There is good fishing in Quebec. That's actually true. And have some fun out there and play that game. So you can catch that after Games Daily tomorrow. Also, today is your last day to get the Halloween merch at kindafunny.com/store. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, Leanza was there with 2 working legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was there showing off the merch.
Yeah. Please buy this shirt. She does not get any of the proceeds, but it will make her happy.
Well, again, the proceeds would, of course, pay Roger's salary, which then also, helps out.
I bought her some chicken nuggets the other day.
She's not on your healthcare, right?
No, she has no healthcare right now. The whole thing. We'll
Jen asked me that, and I was like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
You need a courthouse marriage. I'm right here. Get the certificate.
Make it happen right now, everybody. Leanza, get out. Let's do it.
She comes out of the crutches. Over on Patreon, we also have the new Remember Blank Up, where Tim and Bless reminisce about their favorite Mario memories, and a new shit list is live where Bless and Tim break down the top 10 Mario spin-off games. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Jedi Master Deadpool, Delaney, Twining. Today we're brought to you by BetterHelp. We'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 5 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
We start with not number 1, actually. We put this in as 0.5. It is breaking. It is not fully fleshed out as we were going live, but we wanted to put it out here. Paul Tassi had tweeted, there appear to be layoffs going on at Bungie as we speak. I'm very sorry for all those affected. Of course, when layoffs like this start coming, you never know how it's going to develop, where it's going to go. From that, Liana, right?
I believe so.
Dirty F and Hippie is how I know her from Twitter, of course, but I believe it's Liana, who's been on our show before, had tweeted, working in games when you have high anxiety during a mass layoff trend, parentheses, across the whole industry, is panicking at every new meeting invite, like, quote, is this the one where I lose everything? And that's super fun. She had tweeted that 2 hours ago. 35 minutes ago by my thing, that's the 39 Barrett's. Well, my heart is breaking for all affected. I am now looking for opportunities. I have 21 years of games industry experience in media, production, community, and community management. I'm processing. I'm so heartbroken. I don't know what to do from here. This was my home. I feel so lost. Of course, Dirty F and Hippie, Destiny 2 community manager and co-lead of accessibility at Bungie, then had one more in this thread. With Chu having been laid off earlier this year, I'm terrified we are going to lose our house. More than that, I can't imagine not going to the studio on Fridays for hugs, goofing off with DPS brainstorming with the raid team. Accessibility, I just can't. Love to all.
Heartbreaking
Indeed, and of course, that's the reality of these layoffs when they do happen, right? I think, hopefully, Kind of Funny Games Daily is good at bringing you these news stories and talking a little bit about the people we know affected, or bringing in a tweet from somebody who's affected, Obviously, Dirty Effing Hippie, we've known for a long time. Like I said, she's been on Games Daily before. And the fact that, you're having this conversation here about like, okay, now you immediately jump to, am I going to lose my house? Like, that's where we're at right now from the people who are making the games and doing the things you love. And again, a just bloodbath of a year 2023 has been for game development.
Yeah, absolutely. And to see Liana, someone who has been so positive and like clearly loves her job so deeply, to be affected like this and kind of to see it happen in real time is just, it's horrible.
Yeah. And I remember when she was over at Game Informer and then made the jump here, and this was like a dream come true to get this job. And to see that dream ripped away, obviously, is a heartbreaking thing. And again, developing. We don't know at this moment how many people are laid off, what it is. So we're not going to fully dive into it. I'm sure tomorrow we'll have an update or more for you. But right now, that is happening. So pay attention to socials and spread love where you can to the people affected. And the people who still remain, obviously, who are losing, friends and colleagues.
Yeah.
For now, though, we'll move to number 1 on the Roper Report. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora has previews up around the internet. And we're going to go through them. I think our own Roger Picorni played it. But before we get to Roger's thoughts, let's look at Tom Regan over at VGC. The first thing that strikes me about Frontiers of Pandora is its breathtaking vistas. From the unexpectedly dense jungle to breathtaking floating land masses towering over you from atop the clouds, it's a shining example of what can be done when freed from the shackles of last-gen hardware. Yet, while the studio's expertise at crafting is leveraged to a T, the shiny next-gen visuals give way to a distinctly 360-era approach to game design. For the first 20 minutes, I'm having a great time simply picking up flowers, murdering hapless creatures, and then sticking it to the unlucky marine forces scavenging the remnants of the forest's overgrown outposts. The problem, however, comes when I realize that I still cannot locate my objective. In the first time in an open world game in recent memory, finding story objectives is bafflingly difficult. With 0 objective markers, a Navi sense vaguely guiding players to an unhelpfully massive area. With little help on what your given plants look like or where exactly they may reside in Pandora's gargantuan map, my initial wonder at exploration becomes a tedious journey without purpose, a hapless tourist lost on a jungle trek. Ouch. Over at IGN.com, Matt Purslow wrote, structurally, Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora is going to be instantly recognizable to anyone who's played a Far Cry game in the last decade. But with its jungle parkour systems, flying mount, and increased focus on harmony with the natural world, it is, at the very least, making some notable changes to the formula. This certainly helps anchor it in the world of Avatar, but it remains to be seen if these additions will be meaningful enough to make the entire experience feel fresh. But as someone who has grown very tired of this particular approach, I was happy to find that I left the demo session curious to see more of what lies among the trees of Pandora's frontiers. Then Connor McCarr over at VG247 writes, all in all, Avatar's Frontier of Pandora is ... fine. I don't mean that in a harsh way. It's a perfectly palatable product for the average person. That's kind of the point, I think. It's a game with no sharp edges that would cause someone to walk away. Now, in doing so, does it sacrifice a degree of interest or mystique you could find in a more specialized FPS? I think so. Buy it for your dad or your brother with a short back and sides haircut. Oh, that's Nick. Oh no! It's a game for Facebook Messenger users, those who like milk and one sugar with their tea, and dogs called Max. Vanilla ice cream in a year packed with colorful flavors for those with a taste for simpler pleasures. God damn!
I just love that so much. Of just like, it's okay, it's fine, and then just fucking rips on it. It just continues to go
boring
down.
people like this boring ass game. Roger, are you here to fight back against the critics and say, no, I played it, I'm the lock, and it was great?
I'm the lock, and it's great. No, I don't know. I think I fall in between both camps, right? Because I've seen very positive things about this game. I saw someone call it like a Mirror's Edge, like almost.
Okay.
I don't agree with that. And I also see that. And I feel like I'm in the middle, right? Let's talk about the Far Cry of it all. Is this Far Cry with blue people? Yes, it is. That's exactly what this is. Is that a bad thing? I don't think so. I think this is pretty much what I would want from an Avatar game.
Okay.
Unless you were to go the opposite direction and make it like, I don't know, like an Ori type thing. Like that would be my perfect game. But like for what this is going to be, yeah, I think this is exactly what you're looking for. This is actually some of my gameplay, so it's not very good. But this is me trying to figure out. So let's talk about the criticisms, right, of the like figuring out where everything is and how it becomes a little tedious. I think it's a little bit because of the preview. The preview just kind of throws you
in.
And then they showed off they just kind of like threw you into it, right? The game just kind of was just like, hey, here you are in the world, and we're not going to just even show you how to actually pick up a weapon or anything like that. You are just walking around. So I think they try to like course correct a little bit of the usual typical Ubisoftness of everything, where icons are everywhere.
Yeah.
So when you start off the game, there is really nothing going on. You are just kind of looking around, you're finding things, and you do have the Navi sense of it all. I don't think it was as bad as everyone was saying. Like right there, that is kind of what you would see as like, here's your main objective.
Got
right?
it. And holy shit, does it look like Far Cry?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Somebody's played a lot of Far Cry.
It was so funny of like when I was talking to the people of like, hey, how do I craft? They're like, oh, you just go into the thing and you do this. I was like, oh, it's Far Cry. That's exactly what I just need to remember how to play Far Cry a little bit. And yeah, I had a good time. All in all, I walked out of there and I played about 3 quests, probably an hour and a half of it. And I was like, yeah, this is a fine time. My biggest question out of all of it is just like, how long is it going to be fine? Like, how long am I going to be intrigued in this world? Because at the end of the day, this is very much Avatar 1 kind of greatest hits. And even though they're like, hey, this is like a new corner of the Avatar world, apparently, but it feels very much like Avatar 1 area, but it's like, oh, it's a new area you've never seen. And this takes place right before Avatar 2. It feels like Avatar 1. Like you are taking down the RDA, you are finding the creatures and you're putting up your hands and you're like, whoa, hold down. Oh my God, let me help you out. It feels pretty similar to what I've already experienced in the first movie. So I think where the game could potentially go, like if they were to actually like introduce new factions or new interesting things that are not seen within the first movie, I would be more interested into it. But the preview that we played very much was you're taking out these camps of people, of the space people, and then the biggest mission that they did was you are riding the Icron, which is like the flying creature that you your mantle essentially
Got it.
in the game. And that was a really cool mission because you are just kind of jumping around and you're like following the creature. It's very on rails, but it is an interesting viewpoint into the level design of the game right here, where it is very beautiful and it is stunning, but it also doesn't feel as guided as I think a lot of on-rail sections could be.
Got it.
Even though it is technically on rails, it didn't feel like that. Like, that's hats off to the level design of the level design team on Avatar. But yeah, it was a good time. I don't know how past that am I going to be invested potentially 20, 30 hours into.
So my two questions then become, the Far Cry games traditionally live and die by their villain. That's usually the thing they're doing. Are you getting the sense that there's a great villain in this and a story to it that seems interesting, or is it literally just like, oh, be in Pandora?
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here. I again, very minimal with the story of what we experience, but it is just, hey, the RDA, they're here, and you got to take them out. And yeah, it didn't feel like there was like this big bad, at least from the sense that I got.
Sure, yeah.
That it's like, oh, this guy, you got to really take him out, or this is the dude that we're trying to take out. It's like, no, the RDA is here, and you just got to. We're trying to rally the troops to take them out.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then my second question is, you keep saying, like, how long would I have a good time? Are you going to play this to find that out, or was this just a good preview?
Yeah, I think every year or so, I allow myself to have like a Far Cry
Yeah.
experience, right? Where I boot up the game and I'm like, okay, let's just pick up things.
Let's just check off the checklist.
Let's just check off the checklist. And this seems like what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I mean, it is fun. The one thing I will say about the combat, I think that was a lot of fun, which I didn't expect, was hopping on the Icon and then shooting with your bow and arrow and your gun. It felt very powerful. And especially with bow and arrows, like you never know what you're going to get, right? Sometimes it's like, okay, did I throw an arrow or did I throw like a plastic Nerf dart? Like this feels like, oh shit,
There's weight and impact.
Yeah,
to it.
I shot a fucking sniper rifle every single time. It is impactful. It is fun. It feels like you are a 7-foot blue alien every time you are attacking these hopeless little humans. So that's really cool. And also like just sniping these massive helicopters in the gameplay that I'm showing right here. Yeah, no, I had a good time. I think I'm in between everybody else in these previews. So yeah, it's a positive time for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you gonna play this?
Absolutely not.
No. Not even a boot up.
This is the dice roll you do when you do IP projects, right? Where I just don't like Avatar. Like I haven't seen I've watched the second one off of screens on the airplane.
Yeah.
Where and I came back and made fun of Tim about it because he wanted me to go see it so bad. But it just doesn't interest me, right?
Yeah.
And I think it falls so much into Harry Potter from the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not a world for me, man. That's not what I don't want to be a part of that. So I understand then, why. Not like it's impossible to understand this out of it, but like when Star Wars or Spider-Man or whatever, it's like, I don't like those games. Like I love those games, so I understand why. But the people who aren't into them, I get why that one.
Even as like a Far Cry fan, I would say.
Well, see, I'm a big Far Cry fan, right? And I use that loosely because like the latest Far Cry I platinumed, sure, but that was like I hadn't platinumed a Far Cry since Far Cry 3, I think, but maybe that's not 100% correct. Anyways. What I'm saying is I like the cooldown time between Far Cries to get me back to craving it. So me to jump into a game where I don't care about the base premise or the world about it, that's not gonna. And bow and arrows, even for somebody who like Far Cry, bow and arrows. I didn't play Primal because I was like, I don't want to be like. I don't want to be a caveman.
Oh, really? Oh,
so
that's the thing that got me into this.
I was like, I don't want to be an Avatar man. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of bow and arrows. So like, yeah, this is that excites me about this more than the blue people, honestly.
Sure.
Is the bow and arrows.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you heard it here first, everybody.
What did you think of Link's crossbow training back in the day? Ever play that one?
I loved it. I didn't have a Wii.
Really?
I didn't have a Wii. My first Nintendo console that I purchased, like other than the Game Boy Advance, I had one, and the only Mario game that I had there was Mario vs. Donkey Kong. So I'm very excited for the remake.
I'm sure.
But yeah, no, never had a Wii. Never had a Wii. Bought a Wii. 2018. Way too late.
That was a bad choice.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
Somewhere else there.
Yeah, exactly.
What'd you play on it?
Mario Galaxy 2 for 30 minutes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I just never picked it up yet.
Wow, this story has got twisted turns.
I used to work at a Quizno, and then I went next door, and then I bought it. It was the whole thing. Yeah.
Did you return it? You're just like,
No, I didn't even return it. I just had it in the corner. My mom probably still has it. Mom, you could throw that away if you're watching this.
Or pick up 30 minutes into Galaxy 2 and go for it.
Yeah, exactly. You can have a lot of fun.
They're re-releasing those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They did the first one, remember?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nintendo, number 2 on the Roper report, Nintendo reportedly patented a dual screen gaming device, quote unquote, that can split in two. This is Jordan Midler, VGC. A recently filed Nintendo patent has been discovered that refers to a dual screen gaming device that can be split in half. That's according to Game Rant, which shared images supposedly attached to a patent reminiscent of the Nintendo 3DS. There it is. We can see it right there. However, instead of the clamshell design, which saw the top screen fold onto the bottom screen, this design sees the top screen face out, even when the machine is closed over. The top and bottom parts of the machine would also be able to operate independently of each other. While this may indicate some of Nintendo's potential ideas for the future devices, the company has a history of similar patents being filed and never actually coming to fruition. Prior to the announcement of the Nintendo Switch, a patent was filed by the company showing a handheld games machine with a large oval screen with analog sticks protruding from the screen. There it is.
What an iconic image. I used to look at that image all the time and feel like, oh my God, this is the future. Well, how would they make this happen? It's like, no, they never did.
They're making the Vita.
They're never going to do that. Yeah. They're never going to do this too, right, Greg?
No, I don't see. Well, I mean, who knows anything, but it's like, I'm looking at it here. Like, I don't, let's not do that. I don't want that.
I mean, is there a reality where the Switch 2 is not actually a handheld, but it's more of just like an actual dock thing, and then they go back to a 3DS kind of like follow-up or something, and that's what this monstrosity is?
I don't think so. Like, I mean, it's Nintendo, so throw up your weird Nintendo decisions emotes, your WNDs.
Throw them up.
But the success they've seen off that Switch and how amazing that has been, and the fact that it is them coming to fruition with the idea that they don't need to chase PlayStation, PC, Xbox, and they can do their own thing. Now, saying you can do your own thing would mean that you can make your own console and you can make your own handheld.
And that's where I wanted to go with that, right? Of like, do you think that there's an internal pressure at Nintendo to always reinvent themselves every console? Like, because now they're at this point now where it's like, it's working. Like, but they also, same thing with the Wii. It worked, and they're like, what if we do the Wii U, but it's sort of the Wii, but it's not really the Wii? Do you think that they are fighting each other inside of like, should we fully do something different, or should we just do Switch 2?
Well, I think what's interesting there is when I say, oh, they're going to make the Switch 2, and again, I pray to God it's Super Nintendo Switch is what they call it.
Fucking such a good name.
Even that will not be as simple as it's the form factor you know and love with better horsepower, right? Like, they're going to do the fucking rumble and some weird controller and some VR bull. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to, what AR, I don't know. They're going to do something wacky and weird with it that will make it still like, oh, it is an iteration. It is this idea. It is the lineage, but it is different enough that you don't feel like you're just buying the Switch 2. I don't think they would just do the Switch 2. I don't think they would just say, here's the Switch
here
2.
it is, but more powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at this and it's like, first of all, it makes me kind of happy looking at this. It's like, oh wow, like the idea of like another DS would be cool. Just like, it's like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not? I don't know. Like, it'd be cool. I don't know. So my confusion with this,
so fond of those old days.
Yeah.
Of handheld gaming, the Vita, PSP, I'm way more fond of us getting to this where like, all right, cool. I have my Steam Deck and it is everything I'm playing on my PC, or I have, remote play device for PlayStation. I have the Switch. I love the idea of just having one machine way more than I am.
And do you think that Nintendo loves that idea forever? Like, will they split off again?
Forever is a bigger question.
Yeah.
Right? Because I could easily see it being that forever they get weird and do something like Playdate, where it is, hey, look at this little wacky ass piece of shit we made. You know what I mean? Like, well, look at this thing. We want you to say, what the fuck is going on?
It's Game & Watch too.
Yeah, right? And it is playing weird, new ideas that they're doing that are more like WarioWare and blah, 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 blah. Like, I feel like that is a high likely that they will do something like that in the future. I just don't think this is the time. I don't think you get in your own way of how successful you've been with the Switch.
Yeah. Weird Nintendo decisions, though.
I know.
Weird Nintendo decisions.
Know.
Imagine that. Just 4DS. Just the 4DS. They're just
4DS.
doing it. You just feel it. You can smell it. So I'm confused about this. Can you break it apart, or is it just a clamshell design?
That's what the article said. You could break it apart.
I don't see no breaking apart, though.
I think you can just imagine
you can
it being
just snap
separated.
it.
Yeah, I think just imagine it being.
Okay.
Yeah, see, the top and bottom parts of the machine would also be able to operate independently of each other.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not happening. It's not happening, but
Well, it could happen one day.
One day.
You know what I mean?
4DS.
Just
4DS.
like this
4DS.
image,
God, I love it so
Which
much.
basically
It's so
became the
fucking
Switch.
stupid.
You know what I mean?
It's
Basically
so
became
dumb.
the Switch.
God. Do you think that's Game & Watch right there? Do you think it's his cousin?
How has no indie developer made that game? Like, that's an endless runner right there, right?
That exact game.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Play and See.
That's good.
Run and look out is what they call it. Number 3. Microsoft has started blocking unauthorized Xbox controllers and accessories. This is Tom Warren at The Verge. Microsoft is starting to block unauthorized Xbox controllers and accessories from being used on Xbox consoles. Reset Era posters spotted a warning about the block last week, with some third-party Xbox controllers now throwing up a, quote, connected accessory is not authorized, end quote, warning when connected to an Xbox console. It's unclear if Microsoft is trying to target cheat devices or whether the Xbox maker is trying to push its official partner program. The error has now started appearing in some third-party Xbox controllers alongside a warning that notes the accessory will be blocked from further use after 2 weeks. Quote, from the moment you connect an unauthorized accessory and receive the error code, I'm not going to read this, you will have 2 weeks to use the accessory, after which time it will then be blocked from use with the game console, says Microsoft in a support note. At that time, you'll receive a new error code. Yep. We encourage you to contact the store or manufacturer where you obtain the accessory to help with returning it, end quote. Who's going to tell you to take a long walk off a short pier? Hey, can I return this controller? No. You've had it for a year and a half. No. Third-party Xbox controllers that are part of the quote-unquote design for Xbox hardware program are unaffected. But any that haven't been authorized by Microsoft run the risk of generating this error and being blocked for further use. This might also block third-party cheat devices like XIM, Cronus Zen, and Resnow S1 from working on an Xbox console. These adapters are commonly used on PC to spoof controller inputs, so mouse and keyboard users can get the benefits of aim assist and reduced recoil from controller mixed with the benefits of movement from the mouse and the keyboard. Fuck those PC players. Activision, Bungie, and Ubisoft have all been trying to block these hardware spoofing devices with restrictions and bans in Call of Duty, Destiny 2, and Rainbow Six Siege. Microsoft's block could adversely affect the fighting game community, though. Quote, this is essentially a death sentence for local fighting game events that run on Xbox, much less others that can only afford one arcade stick, said Maximilian Dude, the biggest fighting game channel on YouTube. Quote, the Brook Gaming converts are not cheat devices. Oh, I'm sorry, converters. The Brook Gaming converters are not cheat devices. They're a huge boon to the fighting game community. Please reconsider! Exclamation point, end quote.
Interesting. How much of this, what's the percentage wise of like Microsoft trying to crack down on cheating and Microsoft trying to crack down on these third parties that aren't unauthorized?
Hard to say.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. I would venture it's more for the cheating side of it and more for people who are abusing the system. I think I am so outside of my wheelhouse with this of like, how many unauthorized third parties are there? Like your Mad Catz shit must still be working.
Can you buy these at GameStop? Like that's my question. It's like, what is that? I'm sure. I think Mad Catz, if it's around, is the authorized one. But I mean, I guess because I have seen like those like really jank Xbox controllers. So like, oh, there's no way anybody said yes to that one. But yeah, it's that's my interesting. That's where I'm interested in this. So I'm curious to see if anyone in chat has bought.
Corey says, yeah, pretty much everything you buy at retail will have a license seal. That's what I thought as well. So, but it's still like one of those things of it's so outside of my wheelhouse when you have Maximilian here, right, talking about the Brook Gaming converters. Clearly, I don't know anything about that. So it's like, I'm trying to get what Hype Beast has an article. Are they listing anything? No, that's
yeah.
Okay, so Hype Beast, who I've never heard of course, but they're the first thing I got up here, right? Controllers created through Xbox's hardware partnership program will be considered authorized and therefore won't be affected. Third-party developers, such as Razer, for instance, will be blocked from the console. That can't be right.
That can't.
Razer's not working against the thing. They got to be doing. That can't be right.
Yeah, this is interesting because it just always sucks when like I don't know what the percentage of this is, but like I can just imagine someone's mom bought them a controller that was really cheap, and then now they plug it in. It's like, fuck, my controller doesn't work. Those are the people that I feel really bad for, and of course for the fighting game community if this is not able to be fixed. But I don't know. I have a feeling in my heart that this will somehow be able to be fixed in the near future because this was a post that went pretty viral online this weekend.
Yeah. Again, I'm jumping. People in the chat are saying Razer's official. That's what I would agree with too. Razer's always there. Brook Gaming. That's who we were talking about earlier, right? Yeah, the Brook Gaming converters, right? They put up a statement on October 20th that reads like this: Dear gamers, we extend our heartfelt appreciation for your unwavering support and interest in Brook. We find it necessary to share crucial information with you regarding our Xbox console-related products, which may encounter functional disruptions in the near future. Affected products: Wingman XB2 converter, XB fighting board. partial functionality affected for Xbox platform support. UFB fighting board, UFB fusion fighting board, resolution steering wheel adapter, resolution 2 steering wheel adapter. Recently, we received player feedback in front of things talking about the ad. We deeply regret any inconvenience this may cause you. The Brook engineering team is fully committed to developing a solution to maintain product quality and functionality. Please trust that we. So I think, again, it sounds like it's going very, very specific.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like you went and you bought the Mad Catz controller, you got the Razer controller, all that would be fine. I think it's getting into fighting game weird stuff.
Yeah, and also the knockoff territory.
And again, these PC players who understand they're on a lesser platform and want to use rather than learn the controller, they want to spoof their mouse and keyboard so they can still alt tab over and order a fucking pizza. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean, Greg. I know what you mean.
People making me sick.
Learn the controller. Learn the controller.
Oh, I can't do it. This feels normal.
You know what's funny is that, like,
these are the same people who want to be turned into fucking AI and upload it. They just want to be uploaded. They don't want to have feelings. They want to just bounce around with pistons and neurons.
It is funny because my high school friends, they're all PC gamers, and I've talked to them about the same thing because I was always the controller person, always the console person. And then all they do is play League of Legends, and I put a controller in front of them. They literally had an issue with it. They had some issues with it.
Oh, how do I look up? How do I look down?
It's insane. It's insane.
You take mid. How do I take mid? Because that's the other thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're talking about jungling stuff. I don't know what the fuck
God.
that means,
You know what
dude.
I mean?
Come on, dude. What
It's
the
embarrassing
fuck?
sometimes.
Grow up.
Grow up. That's a
Grow
great
up.
way to put it, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, this PC gaming has put a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah. But what puts a great taste in my mouth is patreon.com/kindafunny. Why? Because patreon.com/kindafunny is the reason all 11 of us can come to you and broadcast and be fun and do dumb stuff here on an amazing set. It's because you support us over there that, of course, you get each and every episode ad-free. You can get a bevy of bonus content, almost 400 episodes of exclusive content since last year. And, of course, you could also get merch. You can watch us record the podcast. You get everything ad-free, blah, 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 blah. You know all of it. But right now, you might not know that you're not on patreon.com/kindafunny. So here's a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Do you ever feel like your brain is getting in its own way? I can't even count the amount of nights I lose sleep just because I can't stop thinking and my brain just won't stop talking. It turns out one great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to talk through them. Therapy gives you a great place to do that so you can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. And it can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. You can make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny. BetterHelp.com/kindafunny.
Number 4 on the Roper Report. FromSoftware Recruitment Drive suggests major expansion. This is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN.com. A recruiting drive at FromSoftware suggests a major expansion of the Elden Ring, Dark Souls, and Bloodborne developers underway. As reported by IGN Japan, FromSoftware is currently recruiting employees across several departments as it works on, quote, several new projects. The developer currently has no announced games in development beyond the Elden Ring expansion, Shadow of the Erd Tree. However, and FromSoftware didn't share anything more in their job advertisements either. Roles are available in game planning, research and development, programming, character design, background design, cinematic art, motion design, production, sound design, and more than a dozen other departments, certainly suggesting FromSoftware is looking to expand its development capabilities. Fans have been calling for the new entries in its most famous franchise for years now, of course, with sequels to Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, perhaps the most sought-after new games. FromSoftware last released a Dark Souls game, the franchise that properly put it on the map, in 2016, while Bloodborne launched in March 2015.
Bloodborne 3, everybody. They're
skipping 2.
They're skipping 2, everybody.
Can't
You heard
believe
it
it.
first.
That's crazy.
You heard it first. Anything you would want them to be working on specifically?
No, just do whatever the kids want. You know what I mean? You got a really dedicated audience. They love seeing your lady Melanias and your Father Gascoignes and stuff. Just let them make hard bosses and make them kill them. Do the thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What if they just do a full-on story-based game? No
Amazing.
gameplay.
That'd be awesome.
Just no
You know what I
gameplay
mean? I would love
whatsoever.
that. Just a choice game.
Yeah.
They're working on the next Life is Strange for some reason. You know what I mean? And it's
True
strange.
colors, too.
It's strange. No, this is great news, obviously, right? Like, obviously, FromSoftware has come into their own so much, and the audience they've cultivated demands to be fed. And so, yeah, if they can go out there and make several more games at once, right, or different projects, and go out and go for it.
Yeah, and it's nice that they have Armored Core back, right? That's something that they can kind of fold back into the franchise when, when we're like, hey, we don't want to make a Souls-like game. We can make a mech-type game.
Like a mech-like game.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they make another like game. I don't know. Another Avatar-like
What would you
game.
want from it? Is there anything that speaks to you?
I don't know. I like these games a decent amount. I mean, I think that they're very much like I have to be in the right mood and I have to be in the right mindset.
Sure.
Because I know this is not a FromSoftware game, but like Lies of P, like I'm playing that and I'm just like, oof, I am not mentally there enough to like actually have a fun time with this. So I just want them to make exactly what you're saying, like whatever they want to make and whatever makes the kids happy, but also like if they want to take a risk, like I am totally down. I would be the perfect person for whatever risk they want to take that is outside of the Souls or mech-like genre.
8-Bit Louise and twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames says they could also add a difficulty setting to their game. I would appreciate playing it on an easy difficulty.
I mean,
let the dream die. It's not happening.
You don't think so?
No.
Really?
No. This isn't, difficulty and accessibility, right, are interchangeable in some regards and not in others, and yada, yada, yada. So if we're just talking difficulty, FromSoftware has heard that for years and have said, no, like that is not the game we make.
Yeah.
And so it's that idea of like, that's just not going to happen. I do not see them suddenly waking up to the fact of like, some people think our games are too hard. Because again, that's what their games are, right? Like that's their whole point of their games is you beat your head into this wall for 2.5 hours and you finally do everything right and beat that boss and get through the last phase and you're super excited.
I would love to see if they could figure out a way to make a whole game that wasn't that. You know what I mean? Like if they can make a Souls-like game that difficulty wasn't the main element of it. Like it wasn't just smashing your head against the wall. If they could do it, I think they can crack that code. I don't know what it is.
Do you ever think when we have this conversation, you play these games and you run into it,
Yeah.
that it's really not about difficulty? Like I feel like that's the easiest thing to say and what turns people off and yada, yada, yada. For me, when I say, oh, I'm not into these games, right? Like, first off, for me, it starts with just the worlds. Like, I just don't want to exist in these worlds, right? Because I never got to somebody hard in Elden Ring where I was like, oh shit, I can't do this, right? And even in Bloodborne, I surprised a lot of people by how
You
I
did
was
really well.
Yeah, and I was like, well, guys, remember every game has ripped this off. So even though it's not nearly as punishing, Assassin's Creed taught me how to dodge and parry and what I need to do and get around it. My thing about it though is like, what turns me off about that kind of stuff is they're not the difficulty, but the margin of error where you can't make a mistake. Rather than, I feel like when you play Spider-Man 2, you feel like Spider-Man. Yeah. And the game corrects and does things and gives you enough chances that even if you're fucking awful, you're doing something that looks cool and you'll eventually do the thing and win the thing and you beat Sandman or whatever, right? I feel like in this game, it's like, no, you have to earn it. We're not giving you anything. You have to be flawless. If you want to look like, if they made a Spider-Man game, it would be that you have to do everything at the right time and be Spider-Man, not feel like Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's no grace to it. You are getting your head pounded into no matter what.
If
you have no idea what you're playing,
And that's the thing for me, like, and when I've played these games before, and it is that idea of, okay, cool, like I know the boss's first wave, what he's going to do or whatever. And then when I finally get that right, and then the second wave pops up and I start losing there and I have to do wave one again, that's when I'm always like, oh,
yeah,
I just don't want to do this.
It's the punch out of it all.
Yeah.
of like having to memorize exactly. And that's
patterns.
For me, the hardest thing is that I'm not a rhythm person. I have absolutely no fucking rhythm. That's why I think it works so well for Andy, because he has incredible rhythm and he's able to figure out exactly what blah, blah, blah. For me, it's like when the guy swinging the hammer at me, I'm like, okay, well, is it this second? Is it the other second? Is this the cue?
Yeah.
I just have no eye for any of that. So I guess it is difficulty for me, but it's less difficulty. It's more of timing, which I have none.
Because that's the thing that it gets into, where it's like, I feel like when the difficulty conversation inevitably comes around about this, it's always like, I get it. And that's a good shorthand in a tweet sense of it. But I think if you were to show it to somebody, like, I just don't think it's like, oh, it's hard. It's like, no, it's like, it wants you to be perfect. It demands perfection. It's fucking, what's the goddamn drum movie with J.K. Simmons?
Whiplash?
Yeah, it's Whiplash, right?
Yeah.
Like they're screaming at you to play the drums the right way, right?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Drumline.
Was he in that too? Was J.K. Simmons in that?
No. That
He's
was
in the background.
other one.
He's in the background.
It's with Nick Cannon, right?
Yeah.
That sounds right, yeah.
J.K. Simmons.
Speaking of movies, Greg Way, number 5 on the Roper Report. Five Nights at Freddy's has an incredible box office debut. This is Adele Anchor's Range at IGN.com. Five Nights at Freddy's, Universal and Blumhouse's horror video game adaptation, slayed multiple. Why is it still
Slay?
I feel like fucking anytime you write about a movie, a movie and entertainment writer. And I'm not talking shit about Adele here. I don't know Adele, but I'm just saying. I feel like they have to make puns about, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways,
See, it's funny because my brain is broken because I was just thinking about like the Gen Z thing of like Slay or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
That's what I thought they were doing. I just completely missed that.
slayed multiple box office records with its $78 million domestic opening and a further $52 million internationally for a global start of $130 million. As reported by Variety, the ticket sales are especially impressive because the fun house flick made its theatrical debut alongside a same-day release on Peacock, bearing down on the likes of Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends to score the biggest domestic opening weekend of all time for Universal and Peacock's hybrid releases. Worldwide, Halloween Kills earned $133 million at the box office, while Halloween Ends pulled in $104 million across its theatrical run. However, in just 3 days, Five Nights at Freddy's has already smashed one of these totals and is hot on the heels of the other, making it the highest grossing Blumhouse global opening ever.
Incredible.
Quote, "It's so fun when it works. Thank you all for being patient with us on Five Nights at Freddy's. We wanted to get it right for the fans. That's all we were focused on," Blumhouse founder Jason Blum wrote on X/Twitter in light of the box office success. And it's official, biggest Blumhouse opening movie of all time.
It's first of all, did you see the tweet from Jason? Just the screenshot of the Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like 33% critics and then like 100% fans, and he just circled the fans. He's like, "Thanks everybody," or whatever.
Shit. Fuck you, ladies and gentlemen.
I guarantee you.
Welcome to the show, the
I
master
watched
of
this
hype.
movie.
Of course you did.
I watched it last night, Roger, and you know what? Not that bad, ladies and gentlemen. If you got kids,
So that's how you know it's a really bad movie.
Into the Five Nights at Freddy's universe, it's going to be a fun time. It's not super gory, but there's moments where I'm like, oh man, like, is this R? But no, it's PG-13. So it's definitely family and kid friendly. It has some fun spooks. It has a little bit of heart. And you know what? It's not the worst movie I saw this weekend, because I saw a movie that was worse than this, and that was way more critically acclaimed, I'm sure. But I'll tell you what, I'd rather watch Five Nights at Freddy's than the other one. Anatomy of a Fall, Greg Miller. You know what? It was very well acted. Truly incredible actors in this movie. Really well delivered, but they really stretched it out over like 3 hours. And it's like, ooh, you overstayed your welcome. You know what I mean? But it was a special one.
I haven't it's insane that you watched that movie of all movies. What the fuck?
Anatomy of a Fall has a 96 on Rotten Tomatoes.
But it is just wild that is the movie he chose.
acclaimed.
Out of all the movies in the universe, that was the one.
I thought he was going to go with the new Scorsese film.
Yeah,
or something.
exactly.
I was like, where are we going?
That would be hilarious. But it is, talk movie news real quick. It's just like, it is wild that Blumhouse spent $400 million for the rights to Exorcist, and that movie just fucking completely flopped, and they have 3 more of these. And then Five Nights at Freddy's, I'm sure, was way less than $400 million.
God, I can only
and
imagine,
they are just absolutely killing it.
It's a fun twist of the news, because I had seen when the reviews posted, everybody was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Like, I never played the Five Nights games, so I was never looking forward to it. But I like horror. Me and Jen watch a lot of horror. Probably our favorite genre. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, I'm like, okay, I wouldn't have watched it this weekend. We had other stuff. We were watching that Get Gotti. You seen this? It's a Netflix thing. It's a series about John Gotti or whatever.
Oh, okay.
A little short series. And then we got to get on Loki too, but it doesn't matter.
Loki's pretty good.
And of course, there's more Grey's Anatomy to watch. However, though, it's one of those like, okay, I don't know. I'm not familiar with the source material, and the critic review sucks or whatever. Blah blah. The only thing I've seen that was like makes me want to support it is that for some reason when I go through my TikTok, every so often the algorithm serves me this woman who's like, oh, I'm in a new movie, but I can't tell you about it because of the strike, and so then I have to keep being a babysitter. And then I looked at the comments on her most recent one, and it was this movie.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm like, okay, interesting.
I thought you were going to say it's because Matthew Lillard's in it.
I do like Matthew Lillard,
Yeah,
of course.
big Matthew Lillard person.
Scream, come on.
He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super cool. I mean, my brother's a huge Five Nights at Freddy person, so this was unsurprising to me because I knew how fervent that fan base was. So yeah, this is awesome, and I hope that more. I mean, we have the Backrooms. Well, I know that's not a game. I know it's like technically started as a YouTube thing, but then it became a game or whatever. But the Backrooms movie is coming out soon, so I feel like this is the start of a big trend you're going to start to see.
People love video game movies now.
They do, and horror ones.
I can't wait for the next horror video game movie to come out. but that's so far away. If I wanted something more immediate, say what came to the mom and shop drops, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform is listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today, Resident Evil Village on iOS.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
I sure can.
Remember, this isn't a streaming one. This is you download a Resident Evil Village to your iOS device.
Does anyone have this phone in the office? Oh, no
believe
way.
I do.
You paying $60 right now?
Also, I believe that I got Resident Evil Village on it right there. I'm ready to go play.
It's showing some like.
No, hold on. From the
Shows
developer.
his phone number, his address.
Well, that's coming.
This is incredible.
This is the age you live in now.
Oh my
you know
God.
What I mean? Where you
your
can
phone just starts smoking.
I'm excited to try it out and see I'm more interested in Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I still haven't played that. So I was like, oh, if that came to the phone right there. But instead, I just got this little health warning. There it is, Captain. What's happening, everybody?
This is gameplay,
Can you believe
guys.
it? Let's just and you could jack in right now with the USB-C right out to them, and you could be the MT to the HDMI, and you could be playing it on a TV. You know what I mean? Now the real question, of course, is when is the medium coming to iPhone natively? All right.
Fuck you. Resident Evil Village is one of the best Resident Evil games.
Resident Evil Village Winter's Expansion is also on iOS today.
Did you play that one?
I didn't. No.
Is that the 3D? I'm sorry, the third person one.
I think so, right?
You have to play as the daughter.
Spoilers,
or whatever.
I was going to say, the daughter. Yeah. Dragon Air Silent Gods is on PC and mobile today as well.
Cool.
New dates for you. The PS5 version of Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4 launches February 16th, 2024. And then Tourist Trap launches November 15th on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC.
People got to stop releasing games in February 2024, Greg. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'll be the next one, right, of where they all move it around.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Corey Cudney says, my Uber driver in SF loved the medium. He kept talking about how good it was.
No way.
People got good taste in San Francisco, all right?
Well, it's also Corey Cudner, no liar.
No, Corey's never lied
That's
to
what
us
everyone
once.
said. That's what I was saying.
Never lied to us once.
Lying to me. Lying to me right now.
Let's do some reader mail. This one was written in to kindafunny.com/KFGD by the Hash Slinging Slasher.
Whoa, that's a
Good name?
SpongeBob reference.
Good. Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. This is less
You watch
exciting.
SpongeBob. Just telling a grown man to watch SpongeBob.
Maybe Ben will get into
You're
it.
gonna have to do it
They'll get
some
into
point. Some point
you,
soon. Yeah.
you would be blown away. The first
I've
season,
watched some. Like,
okay.
it's not like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, again, we were talking about this on Halloween party, right? Of like, I'm a Rocco's kid and like that. And we were talking about Ren and Stimpy and how the evolution so I've seen clips from SpongeBob. I'm like, the zoom in, the thing. Like, I see the DNA of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Bash slinging, tash stinging.
Really good.
What's up, y'all?
Should.
So Alan Wake 2 seems to be doing well in terms of reception reviews, but oddly, there's very few Xbox reviews out for it. Any speculation as to why Remedy chose to withhold Xbox review code for the game?
Yeah, that's interesting because do we know how it runs on Xbox? Does it run comparably? Have we looked into this?
I do not know. I can give you our side of the equation and let you know. So what I know is that codes came in incredibly hot for this. We talked about this in our Alan Wake 2 review on PS I Love You, that none of us had finished the game yet because all of us on that thing were playing. Or no, Paris, I guess, had PC. It doesn't matter. Codes came in hot, period, regardless. We got one Xbox code, or PC code came in on Friday with the embargo being Thursday. So less than a week to play it. We didn't get console code until midday Sunday with an embargo of Thursday, which means, of course, you record on a Wednesday, which really starts to tighten it up there. And this is what I was talking about in the thing of, at no point was I talking shit about this. This is just how life is sometimes. I get it. I brought up the fact that, lots of times when codes come in this late, it's because they're hiding something and because they're afraid of it. And since this is not the case, we all love this game, even Janet giving a 4 out of 5 versus me and Paris giving 5 out of 5. This was strictly, I think, down to the wire. Let's make this game sing. We don't want to fuck this up. We don't want it to have little bugs that would ruin people's experiences.
Yeah.
So my assumption is, having no inside information, was that PC was the first to get done where they were happy with it, send it off. PlayStation on Sunday, send it off. And then we got Xbox code, I want to say, on Thursday. It might have been global release day, or before it was publicly, but we got it there.
Yeah.
And so I have not heard any of the Xbots who took those codes talk back about it, but I also haven't heard anybody about it in general. So
the chat seems pretty positive. People have.
I think it was just, hey, this came down to the wire of Remedy really trying to fucking nail this and whatever the final things they were doing to it. I think sometimes that's going to happen where you just roll with the punches and get it out as you can. Again, it goes back to what we've talked about of on my end of like, I don't want people crunching to review the game. On the same side, I'm sure they don't want their team crunch. I'm sure they were to some degree, but like crunching on, let's ship an inferior product. Like let's execute our vision. Let's give you every second as long as possible.
Yeah, and I remember them talking publicly about Series S and stuff like that. So I'm sure that was an issue too.
Yeah, of course. Now it's time to squad up. This is where one of you writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD with your name, username, platform of choice, and why you need help in the world today. Joe Mertens writes in, and where does Joe Mertens need help? In American democracy. Not like a game, in American democracy. He says, IRL squad up. It's that time of year again, best friends. Many of you know me mostly as a horror fanatic in the community, but I'm also a staunch supporter of pro-democracy candidates and causes. Off-cycle elections are about a week out, and this is your reminder to get out there and vote like your life depends on it. These are the elections where you get psycho book banners sneaking into school boards and library boards, or ballot initiatives that make voting more difficult if you're not paying attention. ... Pay attention and get out there and vote and make sure these motherfuckers don't get the chance. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in America, first off, be registered to vote. Yep. Secondly, vote.
Yep.
Vote. Look into it. Take the fucking morning or the night before to look into the issues. If that's a
vote ahead of time if you can.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah. Because let me tell you, there's a storm coming. Mm-hmm. We get to relive it all over again next year, which is going to be a fucking nightmare on itself. But we will be there banging the drum. And also calling out a million other things. Remember when Biden said he was going to codify Roe v. Wade? Huh. What the fuck, man? I digress. Let's move over to You're Wrong. Of course, kindafunny.com/You're Wrong is where you can write in to say, hey, something's wrong. you screwed this fact up, and we want to set it right. So we're going to do that thing. Big Bad Beluga, of course, is here. And I'm going to read it. But he's, of course, reading between the lines, being a fucking idiot. Don't say I said that, you know what I mean?
I'll keep it a secret.
I'll read it the way he wrote it too, okay? I won't stand for this Playdate slander! The Playdate has been home to some of the most original and delightful little games I've played in years and reinvigorated my love of games. The team at Panic is also incredible. Plus, it's fucking adorable! Name the last fucking console you could call cute, Greg!
Dude, when you were reading that, you sounded like Lin-Manuel Miranda, like just spitting, bro. That was incredible. That was like
Why do I write like I'm running out of time? Big Bad Beluga. You know we love the Playdate here. It's fun. Got a bunch of cute games and a bunch of cute cranks, but you're going to fucking tell me when you saw that the first time, you just say, what the fuck? That's what we were referencing with Nintendo. So what I need you to do is ball up your right hand into a fist and just right in your face and shut the fuck up. Cranky. Playdate does have a bunch of weird ass shit happen all the time. I love it. I love it.
I always get those emails. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, right? This is what we're
new
doing.
Crank game? Oh my God.
Okay.
I got one where it was like, oh, they're making a fishing game. I'm like, they haven't done that before? That's like, it took them
That's like the crank thing.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was like, that's what I would assume.
Besides just cranking it.
Oh, wow.
Have they made a jacking off game called Cranking It?
They should. They really should.
Barrett, get on that.
I'm on it.
If not, we're making it.
I'll have Kevin
How hard
get
can
the
it be
rights.
we can make a
yeah, we can make it. That's an afternoon for me.
Because I mean, I think the fun way to do it would be like it's like a limp dick.
I think it's hard.
But then you get into like you got it. You're trying to like ride it as long as possible. Not ride the dick, but like ride the hot zone as long as possible.
Oh, okay. But the
without
worst
going
like
too far and then ejaculate.
Is it like a hand-free ejaculation?
Yeah, I don't know. We're concepting right now.
That'll be expert difficulty.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Alex fires up here with more information for more Bungie stuff. Breaking news: Jason Schreier reporting that Destiny 2 Final Shape is delayed to June 2024 and Marathon is delayed to 2025. Again, I would imagine we will recap all of this Destiny / Bungie news and layoffs and whatnot when we're here tomorrow with you, since we are here each and every day live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, youtube.com/kindafunnygames, and podcast services around the globe. Of course, you can get it later. You can get it wherever you want. You go to Patreon, you get it ad-free. You watch us record the other podcasts that aren't embargoed. You support us. You say, you know what? I want to be in on the ground floor of them making a Playdate ejaculation game. All right? It's called Cranking It. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't worry about the ESRB over there, right?
No, they don't have that technology.
Okay, I like that. I'm glad they don't. You know what I mean? I'm glad that we can do whatever we want over there. Speaking of doing whatever we want, this week's hosts look like this. Tomorrow, It's me and Blessing. That can't be right. Is that right? Oh, no, that tracks. That tracks. Wednesday, Blessing and Andy. Thursday, Blessing and Greg. And then Friday, a special IGN crossover episode to start our Extra Life marathon stream. Not marathon stream, our Extra Life stream, where we'll go from 10 to 5, which is a really long time for us, and have all manner of IGN hosts in here to compete to see who is the best at playing video games. Blessing isn't here the whole time, so it'll probably be them. And then, of course, raise money at kindafunny.com/extralife. Remember, of course, you could go to kindafunny.com/extralife. Donate right now. We're playing for the Children's Miracle Network Hospital, UCSF Benioff here in San Francisco. But you could join Kinda Funny, and you could play video games and raise money for a hospital, a kids hospital in your town, in your neck of the woods. And that'd be great, and that would help them out. All we ever hear is how much it helps everybody out here, so we should do that. Maybe don't send them the clip about cranking it. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Or do.
Roger, how was your first Games Daily?
That was fun. I was a little nervous, but I think the yerba mate kind of amplified everything. You know what I mean? Got us to the cranking a bit, and so that's all that matters, right?
It's high energy infusion, I hear.
Yeah, and it's dude, fucking the other day, it was so funny. I walk in from across the street. I get a yerba mate and I get a string cheese from across the street.
Yeah, of course.
And I just walk in, and it wasn't even a bit he was making, but Cool just looks at me and just says, "Yeah, some tea and cheese." And it just fucking broke me. I'm just like, yeah, that's exactly what I got. I don't know why, but now I just think of myself as like, yeah, the tea and cheese guy. That's me. That's me, Greg.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to keep up with the tea and cheese guy, of course, follow Kinda Funny on TikTok, where Roger's posting all sorts of stuff for us over there.
Kinda Funny games.
Of course, Roger's also editing a million things. When you see anything nicely edited, it's usually Roger. Like tomorrow's Genvid live stream that we're doing. We'll have a whole bunch of clips in there of me interviewing people. But Roger, where can people keep up with you and follow your partner's recovery?
At Rogeformer on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm sure, we will be posting a lot of photos of her in casts and, trying to figure that all out. But yeah, this has been fun, Greg.
This has been. Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, sometimes.
All right, great.
If Andy's not here again, you know what I mean?
Andy's never coming back, you know what I mean? Let's admit it.
Yeah.
Andy was always weak.
Yeah.
And now, under the pressure of COVID, he's just not getting in. And honestly, I think he might have just been tired. You know what I mean?
It's not even COVID. Like the COVID is like, you need a break, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
You need a break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, more nerdy news than you could ever shake a stick at. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you. I didn't compliment the jacket enough,
Thank you.
I love the jacket.
That was really fun. It was really fun, Greg.
Come on out, Timmy. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Geddes.
Tim Geddes, everybody. It will never be perfect. And I love it. And I love it so much.
Define perfect.
I mean, the way I time it, it's perfect, because it's supposed to feel awkward, because it's just one dude walking onto a stage.
Dude walking out. I love it so much.
Roger, how you doing? You just hosted your first Kinda Funny Games Daily.
That was fun. That was a blast. That was exhilarating.
Exhilarating?
I talked about blue people. Talked about Far Cry.
I'm jealous. I'm really jealous, actually.
Well, the story behind it, which was funny, of just Greg putting in the events channel. I waited an entire 24 hours. Waited for someone to do the call of like, hey, I want to play Avatar. Waited for you to say
it would have been me.
Yeah. And then I was just like, fuck it, no one's doing it. I'll do it. And then 10 minutes later, you're like, can I do it? And then Greg never responded to you.
Exactly. And then that's how it ended. Yeah, I just like, there obviously so many Slacks. So every once in a while, for some reason, I miss the events Slack the most. That and game codes, I need to get better at. Like, because there's just so much that comes through. Yeah. That's so funny. To me, I'm like, I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. Or like, if I need to know something, Greg will tell me. And which is, putting a lot on him. I don't blame him at all. But I was like, when I saw you, I was like, oh, fuck, I want to do this too. And then, he just never replied. And I was like, I'm going to take this personally. I feel like he gave this to Roger, which I didn't want to take it from you. I wanted it to be additive.
Yeah,
I wanted both
we
of
could
us
have been the ABBA bros.
hanging out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Me and you and Pandora.
Oh, my God.
That'd be great. I'm excited for it. I talked to you a little bit about it.
I mean, I'm excited enough, right, for if this is going to be the Far Cry game of this year. Yeah, it's fine. But I don't know. It just felt so Far Cry. I mean, sorry, Avatar 1 to me, that I was just like, I love Avatar 2 so much.
That's so funny.
And I just want Avatar 2.
Yeah.
So like the fact that even though this takes place right before Avatar 2, it's like basically just Avatar 1.5.
See, I just want the colors of the world and the music and the sounds. And I want to fly one of the Banshees. And that sounds great.
You can do all that.
Yeah,
and you do the, I think it's a Zelda thing where you jump off the Banshee and you press the button and then swoops underneath you. And
well, hell yeah.
Yeah. So
well,
really
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want.
Cool. It'll be a fun couple hours. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
2 hours.
That's how I like Far Cry games, though. Like, I love Far Cry games.
Yeah.
For a couple hours.
Have you ever finished a Far Cry game?
No, not even close. No, God, no. Have you?
You're just like, yeah, I finished the only one I haven't. Well, I've done 3, 4, no, 3, 5, and 6. No, 3 and 5. No, that's it. Never mind. I guess not that many. I guess 3 and 5. Yeah. So I guess this is it. So I do every other one. So I guess this is a Far Cry game to me.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. Everybody, you can get your super chats in right now. I'm gonna get a little closer here. Match the vibes. You can go give some resubs over on Twitch, and we'll read your messages, or go over to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Leave some super chats, and we will get to them. We got a super hot chat coming on Twitch, coming from Lewis 9000. If Kind of Funny was made into a video game, what kind of game would you want it to be? I mean, I feel like it would have to be a 16-bit RPG. You know?
Really? Have to be.
Have to be. There's no other options.
Interesting. No other options.
Yeah.
I got, what about Cranking It? Did you hear about that game Greg and I made?
Yeah, we
made a game. We just made a game right before this.
Yeah.
I missed
yeah.
this.
It's, we're going to
I
use the
see
play dates.
the guy who started the idea is already being pushed out here, Roger.
Oh, classic capitalism.
Oh my God, it's fucked up. Yeah, but I don't know. I think, I guess 6. Yeah, sure. That doesn't excite me.
My thought immediately went to a party game for some reason, because I feel like that's just like, if you're trying to like capture the whole entire Kind of Funny vibe, a party game with a bunch of different like calls to different genres and stuff, you know?
Yeah, see, I want deep lore. I want to get real weird into like the origin stories of Roger Picorni. Yeah.
Of every single. Okay, I like that. What about just like a Smash clone?
I mean, that obviously, but I want it to be good though. See, here's my argument is, I feel like if it was a 16-bit RPG, it could be okay and it'd be still good. But if it was a Smash clone and it wasn't great, I'd be pissed at it.
Yeah, that's true. There's a level of like, hey, we all need to be happy with this product to a certain degree.
Yes.
And
exactly.
I feel like for you, that's like a high bar, specifically for the Smash clone.
Smash is the most important thing. Matt Batson he gave a Twitch chat there, congratulating you. Loving seeing you on the show.
Thank you.
Someone made the joke, Tim is the final boss who kills your ideas. That's what the RPG could be, is like the quest of Nick and Andy trying to get KFAF back on the air.
I love that.
And then Tim is the final boss.
A KFAF game. I think that's what I would default to. I know it's for the entire company, but I think I would like to see their interpretations of everyone at the company, kind of like it's like kind of like they see like me, and it's just, and I'm just, I don't know, I'm just like wearing baggy clothes all the time.
So it would be like a lot like Metal Gear Solid 5, where it's like an incomplete game. You know what I mean?
What?
'Cause they're not going to finish it. They're going to give up before it's fucking over.
What? Is that true? Is that the game just ends?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, MGS5?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, it's a different situation. Kojima didn't just finish in the way that I've implied Nick and Andy just finished KFAF.
I get the bit now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But, yeah.
I was too interested in the lore. I'm like, wait, what's going on with MGS5? Tell me about that. That's so stupid. That's funny. That's a good bit.
Over on YouTube, we got some fun stuff coming in. Let's see what we got first.
Sam and Max. That's good. Like a Sam and Max, but it's Nick and Andy. That's funny.
Oh,
that's a funny one. That's a funny one. Do you ever play Sam and Max games?
Yeah, I was never good. Any of those adventure games on PC, I was always way more into the idea of them and watching other people play than me playing. Like, I remember my uncle, who was like the computer guy, you know, I'd go to their house and like he'd have all those games, like the Lucasfilms games and stuff, and LucasArts. And anytime I was sitting at the mouse and keyboard, I would just panic. I was like, there's just way too much going on. Because I didn't have a computer when I was little, so it was like extra intimidating of just like, what the fuck is this keyboard?
And then your interpretation of it's probably through movies too, a lot of the times where you see computers and you're like, oh, I'm going to press this button, end the world. You know what I mean? Could it get hacked into the
100%
mainframe?
hackers, man, dude.
Interesting.
Hack the planet.
Interesting.
But yeah, I got really scared of those games.
My brother, for some reason, really into them. Born in 2003. Don't know why those games did not really come out around then.
Well, I feel like there was like a resurgence.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what it was? It was the fucking. Do you remember the poker game that they had, that Valve had for a while? It was like into the inventory night or whatever, where they had like a bunch of like Valve characters and they just played poker. It was a bizarre thing. They did 2 of them. Strong Bad was in one of them. But like, yeah, he was really into that. He was like 6. Huh. It's bizarre. This kid's fucking weird.
This fucking kid. We gotta get to the bottom of it. He'll be a weird side mission in the video game.
Also, like there was like a good amount of like licensed IP in the early 2000s that would have like a bunch of like point and click adventure games. So makes sense.
Yeah. Poseidon on Twitch said 85 months. Tim, thoughts on an in review for X-Men the animated series leading up to X-Men 97? I've thought about this so often.
Interesting.
It's just hard to figure out an actual plan that makes sense to do. With two things. One, we actually don't know a date for it. So it's like, I feel like the moment we know the date, there's not going to be enough time to do it correctly. But I don't want to do it too early because it's just going to be weird. But even then, it's just a lot of content.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could convince anybody at this company to sit down and actually watch that show all the way through in a way that's worth discussing it.
Yeah, because you need to do season by season, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. Yeah.
And that's just a lot of content, and it's a lot of stuff that is great, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think we're actually going to do that, but I don't know. I've been trying to think of a way to make it make sense. Once they announce the date, maybe if I see something that works, I might like do something. But like, I'd be willing to bet that there's a very slim chance that me, Andy, Nick, and Greg all watch X-Men.
Yeah, you'd have to have me in there or whatever. And then
Which look, I'm hella down to
Yeah.
do this. But I just I don't know.
did you see the toys are up? Because
yeah.
because that show was so delayed that they're just like, hey, here's the toys now.
Here's the toys. Deal
Look
with
cool
it.
though.
They do
Well,
look
no
cool.
Jubilee. I went to fucking Target and they had everyone except for Jubilee. I was like, the fuck.
They have one though, right?
I'm sure they do, but it was just
It's
like
not
Target.
Target.
Target just had like the main three.
Just
or
too
whatever.
popular.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
selling out. We got Casa de Flores says, Tim, will you ever do a tour of your home theater or just list what you have in there for inspiration? I want to, but I want to do it right, which means I don't know if I'm ever going to actually do it. Just
Yeah.
because things are busy. There's a lot going on, and I'm always tweaking. There's always I'm like, once I do this, then it'll be done. And I'm so close to it being done, but then I learn something new.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
So
we're
my
gonna keep
question to
going.
you is, because
Yeah.
I'm sure you're learning a lot of this stuff through message boards and like Reddit specifically. Do you ever post to Reddit? To like a burner? Is there like a Tim Geddes burner?
No, I'm a lurker. I've
Yeah.
always been a lurker. I'm
Yeah.
a big message board boy, but I've never really posted.
Really? So you never
Any-
had like the impulse of like, hey, there's a question that I know these guys can answer.
Nah, I love the internet so much that I just trust in it. Where it's
Yeah.
like, I'm not doing a good enough job searching for the answors that I'm looking for.
Yeah,
you know what
So
I
then
mean?
you go back to 15 years ago and someone has the exact thing.
on what's it called? Freaking cow.
Yep.
Cow.
Fuck,
What's it
I
called?
forget the name, but yeah.
Cowart.com or
Yeah.
whatever the
It's
fuck.
It's some fucking guy with like a very professional headshot. It's like, why are you here?
Why are
I'm
you
like,
here, man?
You've
But
answered
thank you.
thousands
Thank
of
you.
questions, but thank you so
See,
much.
he's there so we don't need to be.
That's true.
That's the way I look at it. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, no, I've been doing little tiny updates to the theater over the last couple weeks. It's just I'm not at home as much as I used to be. You know what I mean? The whole work from home thing.
Yeah.
That gave me a lot more free time of just like, I have an hour that I'm not on anything necessarily or whatever. So I'm gonna do some cable management or whatever. I've run out of cables to manage.
Everything's perfect.
Everything is perfect
Yeah.
in terms of
So
cable.
what's the next thing? Oh, the
I have
cables?
the hallway leading into the theater is a
Yeah.
fucking disaster. So it's like
That's also another project.
that's a whole other project. Yeah, I've always thought of that as like phase 3 of my home theater
do we
situation. I think phase 2 is done.
Oh,
Phase 2 is done.
Okay.
Yeah, because the theater is like, I'm incredibly happy with it.
Yeah.
Like it is like, it's pretty much as good as it's going to be for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple issues with it, like my receiver. It was a pre-HDMI 2.1 world, which makes everything really sad. You know the struggles,
that
Raj.
sucks.
Trying to get that
dude.
120 hertz. It's like, oh man, gotta fucking manually cable up my PS5, and I'm like, it's
Yeah.
worth it for Spider-Man.
But then you have to put it back, and then you're
Sucks.
like, yeah. But I mean, how many games are doing 120 hertz?
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Not many, but Insomniacs are.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm
yeah,
like,
next
fuck.
year for Wolverine or whatever, whenever they do that.
Yeah.
We'll be
I
there.
think it'll be next year.
You think so?
I really do. We got Migs Navarro 15 resubscribe and say major shout out to Raj for his JPEG Mafia sticker.
Hey,
There you go.
There it is. Oh, that's my Tony Soprano one on the other side.
Ab Froman says, when we get into Gen V in review, unfortunately, there's so much going on. I don't think that we're going to. The finale is this Thursday, which blows my mind. I am loving the show, though. And I've been trying to talk to Bless or whoever would talk to me about it on different shows little by little. I just watched last week's episode last night. We were a little bit behind because there's just so much TV. It's so good. Are you watching it?
No, I know.
Did you watch The Boys?
Yeah, I love The Boys. I know.
You get. I mean, here's the thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like at some point when you have the time,
Is it almost done?
finale's this Thursday. And dude, they knocked it out of the park, man. There has not been a miss. I can't fucking believe it. This might be the best spinoff in history.
And it takes place right after season?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
season 4. It's just with a
wow.
whole different cast. Like it's like the
Yeah.
X-Men of the Boys universe. but it's good X-Men. Like, it's some of the best X-Men storylines and bits, but like tweaked and pushed way too far.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And the cast, I am blown away by. Like, every episode, I get more and more like, oh, they're going to be a star. They're going to be a star. Like, there's just a couple standout people that I'm just like, I want to see you in so many different things. Like, really, really great.
I'm also happy the show got a season 2 because I was a little scared there because I feel like no one's really talking about it.
Man.
It was to the point where like my dad, big boys person, like loves that show, and I talked to him. I was like, "You watching Genvid?" He was like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Yep, fucking goddamn it."
It's rough, man. But yeah, for anybody that's on the fence about it, it's definitely worth watching. And yeah, it'll be all out this Thursday. Dude, this Thursday is about to be insane. We have Loki.
I'm so excited.
Loki episode 5.
I am so excited.
Which after last week's episode, it's like, where are we going with this? Yeah. We have Genvid finale and we have Invincible season 2 premiere.
Yeah.
All on Thursday. It's insane. Dear Sixlet says, Tim, did you see the new Kingdom Hearts Missing Link trailer? I'm really excited for it, and I hope it piques your interest, given it's a Pokemon Go like.
Oh, fuck,
I know,
dude.
I know.
God damn it.
I know.
Well, how many? We need to find a fucking random Sora, bro. What the fuck is this game?
Hell yeah, man. There's so much darkness out there. Let's find some
fuck.
heart.
Is that the idea? Oh, really quick. Should I talk about the fucking the story I texted you?
Yes,
this weekend?
please do.
I was walking around a little mall this weekend. By the way, it was right by the Spirit Halloween. Spirit Halloween fucking line.
Oh yeah.
2 blocks down. It was insane. But I'm just walking around. There's this woman in front of me, and she's just walking really slow. So I do the New York thing. I pass her, and I look to the right. She's holding 5 phones, like 5 iPhones. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? I look at her screens. They're all Pokemon Go. All Pokemon Go. I couldn't believe it. And I looked at her.
Treats.
I looked at her, and I was just like, what do you... is it for your friends? And she just laughed. And I think she said, like, I don't have friends or something like that. And I was just like, okay, cool. Bye. I don't want to have this conversation, but like, cool. Like, that's awesome. Hope you're having a good time. But like, do you think she's selling these? Like, what do you...
Honestly, I don't know.
Like,
I really
is there
don't.
a meta?
We've seen the picture. Oh yeah, there's a meta.
Okay. Well, is it meta for having 5 phones?
I don't know. I honestly, I can't. When you would text me that, I was like,
I swear to God.
I don't know what, because like, there's always events. There's an event every fucking day, Raj. Like, it's awesome. Yeah. But also, it's like just a lot. And the events happening right now for like the Halloween and like the more pumpkin festival-y type shit, like they're really cool. They're good. But like, there's nothing I can think of that's like worth doing that for. Like,
have you thought about it?
I have thought about it. I've less thought about that. I've more thought about convincing Gia to play while I'm driving on her phone and like figuring something out. But she's not into the idea. I don't really know why. But
you know what? Doesn't want to enable you, Tim.
No, she's the queen enabler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if there's anything I've learned in my life, it's that Gia is the #1 Tim Geddes enabler.
Okay.
And that is dangerous in so many ways. And it also results in who I am as a person. So you're welcome, everybody. It's Gia's fault, not mine.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't hold responsibility for my actions. Are you kidding me? No. Let's get to some of these super chats here over on
Solo raid. Is that the reason why? Was there a raid maybe?
Oh, yeah, there's always raids. Yeah, but like there was like a Darkrai raid, which isn't that interesting. It comes back a lot. This is Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
So fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So do they not have the rights to Disney stuff when they do things like this?
That's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all complicated. I don't think anybody cares anymore about anything.
You said life.
No, I was thinking about this recently, like, and this is like semi-stretch, but it also totally makes sense with this. I can't believe Mario RPG's coming out.
Yeah.
Like, that seemed like, this game is going to be lost to licensing hell forever. Like, there's no way. It's just not going to fucking happen.
Yeah.
It's happening. We're getting a remake, and it looks amazing. Like, I'm like,
anything
it's perplexing.
Can happen.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll make you show up.
Oh shit! No, they have
shit!
fucking...
There's our boys, dude.
Holy shit!
Wow.
This is not Pokemon Go. They're fighting people and shit.
Collect character pieces. Oh, we got some trophies.
This is crazy, dude.
Yeah. What the actual fuck?
This is pretty cool.
It's a phone game. Like, how crazy is it, Raj, that this game we're looking at right now, we're like, whatever. Can you imagine if like 15 years ago someone showed you this, you'd be like, that's on a phone?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if I show it to my grandma right now, she'd be like, this is real life, right? I gotta look out for Winnie. Oh no!
This is real life right now.
I showed her Arkham Asylum, and I swear to God, she had like a mental breakdown of like,
Dude.
what the fuck? Where am I?
Wait,
What's going on?
That is the fucking funniest thing ever.
She was like, which one is this? Is this the George Clooney one? I was like, no.
I have a similar one
God.
where I remember my grandpa coming out to visit, and I was playing Arkham Asylum, and he was also really blown away.
Oh,
but then
really
he was
funny.
like, he's like a fucking nerd-ass nerd. So like the second you get into like one of those like vents, and you can kind of see Batman, he was like, the cape's clipping through the rest of his body. It's stupid.
Oh, stupid fucking nerds walks out,
God,
throws a cigarette at the TV.
Love that. John Alexander says, from what you played, is Frontiers of Pandora better than the movie tie-in game when the first movie came out?
I'm sure it is.
Also made by Ubisoft, fun fact.
Yeah, it was. I don't think I didn't hear any 3D rumbles in this one. They didn't say, "Hey, listen, you can also put the 3D goggles on and play this one."
Oh, yeah.
The other one, the old one, you could do that.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, maybe that
Pros,
game kind
cons?
of. Yeah, I mean pros and cons, everybody. I mean it is better, but this one doesn't say James Cameron's Avatar, Ways of Frontier, whatever, Frontiers of
Ways
Pandora.
of Frontier.
I always want to call it Ways of Water because I love that movie so much.
I love you so much, Rod. You're my favorite. Jason Williams says, we need more of the Back Outside Boys podcast. Has Mike forgiven you for buying a car yet? Buy him an iced chai and he'll likely take you back.
No, I feel like him and I, we're still beefing. You know what I mean? We're going to have to settle this in the streets.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
streets, the NBA streets.
Yes, I love the
NBA
volume
streets.
2.
Yeah, volume 2.
Yes.
But on GameCube so I can play as Mario.
That's 3.
Fuck.
But I like you took the swing. Mario was out here
He was
back then,
fucking
man.
out there,
He
bro.
was
They
just
just
fucking everywhere.
Let him do anything,
He was playing DDR for a bit, and then he was like, fuck it, it's time to go to the streets.
He was on DDR?
There was a Mario DDR mix.
Oh, that's cool.
DDR Mario mix.
That's really cool, dude.
Yeah,
he was
it
just anywhere, bro.
He really is, man.
Remember when they would just put Link in like Soul Calibur or whatever?
Yeah, man.
So cool, dude.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Dear Sixlit writes in asking about Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. We just saw that. CJ Splits On says, what wins best score at the Game Awards? I say Final Fantasy 16. Honestly, I think that is the favorite, but I think that, again, this year in every category, like we keep talking about Game of the Year, but when we start looking at like a lot of the other things, it starts getting kind of hairy pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I do think total package-wise, like my vote's with Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
But man, there's been some good ones.
Yeah, dude.
It should be Sea of Stars. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I see. I'm just a weirdo, man. Like, I just feel like I don't listen to scores. Like, I just don't hear it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just part of the game, and I just never like associate it with anything. Like the other day, like, oh fuck, I was playing Yakuza 0 or whatever, and then she heard like they had a version of like the song in the background or whatever, and then Lance was like, oh, that's like the theme. I was like, what's the Yakuza theme? I don't know it. And I played like 80 hours of this fucking game. I don't even associate it. I don't know what's happening. I'm just broken, Tim.
No, I'm broken the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like all I
We're
care
the two
about.
extremes.
Yeah, exactly.
So did Zelda not have a good score? I don't know.
Zelda
Oh,
scores.
it kicked
Okay.
ass.
Oh my
It's
god.
just not as yeah.
It's just
No, it's
I don't know.
amazing.
It
Like
is.
legitimately, like don't know that I can like necessarily choose one, but I think that the overall amount of music that's amazing in Final Fantasy 16, the amount of character themes that are great, like it's just so good. Zelda's I'd say is better designed. Like it's and like the score is amazing, but it's a little bit there's just less of it.
What about
But
Hi-Fi Rush? Do you think that?
Hi-Fi Rush is great.
Yeah.
Like,
but like that's the music game. You know what I mean? Do you think
Yeah,
people are going to be like,
but-
music game?
But my argument against Hi-Fi Rush is that like there's very few standouts in it, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff that it kind of just is serviceable, but it's less like it's not.
and a
the
lot of it
moments.
is like the highlight moments are like the licensed things,
Yeah.
which like do we count that? I don't like. I personally would like again. I was talking about this I think on Friday off content of just the Invaders Must Die moment where you're like rushing the kind of like final sequence and all that stuff. Fucking Chef's Kiss, like a highlight of music this year, but.
highlight gameplay. I would say
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I think that's one of like the get hype moments of the year.
Yeah.
In not only just that game, but like in all games.
Yeah.
I just think that like I don't know how many people I know it's a lot of people, but like when it comes to like the voting, right? Like how many outlets see that or people or whatever, and just be like, I don't really know, music game, soundtrack, and they just put Hi-Fi Rush. That's my thinking.
I mean, I think that people who be doing that would be because Hi-Fi Rush deserves.
Sure.
Like,
okay.
I think Hi-Fi Rush isn't just it's a music game. It's a good music game.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's true.
But it's the same people who correctly put Sifu as a fighting game.
Correctly.
Correctly.
Correctly. I stand by it. Blessing gets so
fighting
mad.
it, I
Blessing
know.
gets so mad. I love it.
Oliver Collier says, hey guys, wanted to give a shout out to how cool it was to see your Ghostbusters stream as I'm working at End Dreams, and I didn't work on the game myself, but kind of funny was I highlighted in an email about the release. That's
Incredible.
fun.
That's really cool.
Very cool.
That's a cool merging of worlds for you. It's awesome.
Julian Alicorn says, Alarcon says, hello, Tim and Raj. Question for Greg. For Alan Wake 2, should I play as Saga for as long as the game will let me, then go on as Alan, or should I switch on and off? Thank you. Love you guys to pieces.
I've been playing it. I did the exact way that Greg played it, like the exact way. So I did Saga as much as possible, and then I went to Alan's side. It's up to you. Whatever you find more interesting, I would say. I mean, like, they're both very valid choices. Like, the game is designed for that. But if you're into, like, FBI stuff, like, yeah, for sure, play Saga stuff. But again, it is meant to play it the way that you want to play it. But I would love to hear switching back and forth, because that's something that I didn't have. And, like, now that I'm at the point now where I'm stuck in Alan, I'm like, oh, fuck, maybe I should have, kind of, like, spaced this out a little bit more and going back and forth. So I think that might be the answer.
Ace Boogie Game says, hey Raj, I had hopes of you being a great addition to Kind of Funny. What led you to betraying Sweet Mike by getting a car?
Oh, God, you know me. Mike looked at me crying, and he was just like, don't buy a car. And I said, you know what? I got to get the S-Class
I got places to go,
The S-Class ER, bro. I got to go,
fuck
bam,
yeah.
bro. Do I know anything about changing oil? No. Do I know anything about cars?
You don't need to until you do.
Yeah.
What they say.
Yeah, until you fucking do. I've been going to Costco to get my gas. It's fire.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's fire.
Sin Vendetta says, Tim, I was going to ask Greg, but I know both Barrett and Kevin shout out Baker's Dozen, and Greg doesn't anymore. But will we ever get a podcast beyond Greg Miller style Baker's Dozen ever again? I don't know, but I do know that this week we're getting PS I Love You Cross Beyond, and I have a feeling if this were to happen, it would probably be there.
Yeah.
Does Greg remember that? Does Greg think about that? That's an excellent question. But Greg also, like, retains things.
Yeah, he might just
Weird
start that
things.
podcast and just, like, be teleported 10 years ago.
Exactly.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just going to all come back to him.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. This week's about to be awesome.
so
So many cool collabs, so many fun things we're doing with IGN. So stay tuned,
Make some
everybody.
cool sets. A little teaser.
Oh
out there,
yeah,
with some cool sets.
we got some fire coming up,
Gotta
man.
make some of that.
What's your weekend? What did it look like? Well, besides all the bad
It was just hanging out with Leanza, playing a redacted game, and then also playing Alan Wake 2. So it was relaxing.
Yeah.
We didn't really do much. We did the simple of like, hey, this is a lot for us. We're both not gonna cook, so we're just gonna get pre-made shit from Trader Joe's and just hang out. Yeah,
Hell yeah,
that's
man.
it. How about you? I know you went to the party. I was sad to miss it.
Halloween party was awesome here. I played a lot of a redacted game for review, which I'm really excited to talk about later. And then that was pretty much it. Then there was a lot of like errands and dumb shit.
Yeah,
It's just not
same.
fun, you know. Got my new phone.
Oh,
Yeah, I
which one?
got the 15 Pro Max. Really
Are
excited
you gonna
about
play Resident Evil today?
it. No.
Resident Evil Village.
Mm-mm.
It's on. It's on the phone.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You hear about it?
Yeah.
Greg booted it up on the
did he?
fucking show.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
You waiting for the medium?
Yeah, medium. That's where.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
at.
the one.
where-
Yeah, that's the
Greg
one.
Miller's a fucking madman. Say
You think he paid for
medium's
that?
better than fucking Village. Get the fuck out of here. Insane.
Yeah, it's insane. Resident Evil
Absolutely
Village is
insane.
such a good fucking.
You know, speaking of reviews that are insane, Loki. Now that episode 4 is out and we know what
Unbelievable.
everyone was reviewing,
Unbelievable.
what are you talking about? 5 out of 10. What are you talking about?
Usually I don't do that, but like I
know.
I am that of just like I can't believe that this was like, oh, like it's in service, like the criticism of like, oh, it's like the characters are not in service of, they're in service of the plot and not the other way around or whatever. I did not feel that at all.
No, me
I felt
neither,
so
yeah.
connected to all the characters. The stakes are so fucking huge. I have no idea where we're going next episode.
Totally.
That is something wild that I just did not expect from the Disney Plus TV show, especially season 2 of Loki. I didn't expect 4 episodes in. I was to be like, this
Whoa.
could be anything.
Yeah.
Do you think they got fake episodes? You know?
I don't know, man. I
Did they
don't
get any other episodes after this?
No, I think
they only got
the
the first
review
4.
was the first 4. Yeah.
Which makes this even crazier to me. But hey, everyone has their own opinion. I just like that was one that I was like, this feels so far off the mark of like
Yeah.
what everyone that I know that's watching it feels.
Yeah, and
so.
especially again, not to dog on it, but like I remember like them talking a lot about the McDonald's elements of it, and I was like, I feel like that was such a small element,
people really don't like product placement,
which
man.
I get, but like
I don't, man. I really don't. Like,
Yeah.
It is so rare that it like actually gets in the way of things.
Yeah.
And when it does, it's like, all right, cool. That's
And it's usually when it does, it's usually played as a joke, like the iconic oh shit, I'm blanking on the movie.
Wayne's World?
Wayne's World, thank you.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mind meld.
But it's like that, if it's in movies like Power Rangers, I remember had a lot of IHOP in it. I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
A
like
lot of
which
IHOP.
is like, yo, like,
What was that,
is
man?
That's what's making this movie bad? I don't think so, man.
Yeah, I was watching the new Star Trek, the Strange New World season 2. Incredible show, just so fucking just incredible. I can't stress to you guys enough. If you guys like or even care a little bit about Star Trek, watch that show. But yeah, there's a whole like chase sequence. It's all Dodge. It's like all just the Dodge Charger, like fucking Challenger, whatever the fuck ad. And it just you notice it, but it's like it's whatever.
Yeah.
I understand the criticism if it's like really heavy-handed, but I think it worked well for the show, and I thought it was fine. So I don't know.
Yeah. So, 'cause the reason I think it worked well is it is a reward, and it played with it with time.
Yeah.
When you see like an old school thing, it's like, oh, it's not just product placement of McDonald's, which it is. Clearly, there's a marketing campaign with them going on. That's how this shit works and gets funded. That's just part of this. But also, it was fun to see a McDonald's in that time period because that's like I remember that. Or if not that, I remember seeing pictures of that from my parents' ages or whatever the hell it is. It's like, I don't know. People get so caught up just because they notice things. And it's like they were able to point something out. Like, I noticed that this is product placement. And then like that becomes the conversation, which, hey, at that point, maybe don't do it because then it just takes away from the point of what you're doing. But yeah, I don't know.
I think when it comes into like when it distracts from the actual story of the show, like if it was just like, hey, the MacGuffin of this is not time. It's now we got to get this fucking 5-piece fucking chicken nugget. Like then that would be an issue. But it's just like, she works at McDonald's. Sure, that exists. Like, that was fun. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see where the rest of the show goes. I'm really excited for it though, because I'm loving it. It's a good time. Thank you.
Written by Pusha T.
It's fucking wild. You're the one that told me that.
So insane.
And it blew my mind.
So insane, dude.
Well, that was your post show, everybody. Brandon Versus writing in real quick, actually, with a final Twitch chat here saying Genvid and Loki season 2 hit on all cylinders. Hell yes, amen. But we're gonna be hanging out playing a little Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, everybody. Right after this, so stay tuned in all the normal places. And until next time, I love you all. Goodbye.